Peace with the Process presents the 4 key value areas. We all have things we value, but we don't all value the same things. In fact, we also don't always act or make decisions based on what we truly value. Many times we make a choice based on what we value in the moment. For instance, the night before, we decide to set our alarm to wake up early in the morning. But the morning that our alarm goes off, we make a decision to hit snooze. We make a decision to ignore it and continue to sleep in. It's in that moment, that decision we made in the morning, that we decided we valued sleeping in one more time over whatever we decided was supposed to be important to wake up early the next morning. Another example is when we make a choice to spend all of our money eating out at restaurants throughout the week. Even when we had made a conscious decision to save all of that money to go toward a vacation, we made the decision to value not having to cook, the convenience of going out to a restaurant, over the vacation that we had previously decided we were supposed to value more. These are most likely subliminal choices that we're making on the spot without actually considering the weight of the choices that we're making. If someone were to ask us in the moment, be there beside us when we make that decision to sleep in instead of going to the job interview, if they were to sit there and ask us, hey, do you value this job interview more than you value just getting one more day to sleep in? I think the answer is a no-brainer. The benefits of waking up and going to this job interview way outweigh the benefits of just getting one more day of sleep. If someone were to ask us in the moment, do we value a vacation over having to cook dinner tonight? We would obviously be willing to cook dinner in exchange for a 3 to 4 day vacation. So why are we not linking the weight of these choices to the consequences in the moment? Because they likely seem like very small choices in the grand scheme of things. Missing one job interview doesn't seem like a real big deal when you've got 5 lined up this week. Going out to eat one night doesn't seem like it's going to really break the budget for that 3 to 4 day vacation. But what happens when we miss the one job interview that we were the most qualified for? What happens when that one night out at dinner turns into 5 nights out throughout the month and we end up $200 short from what was supposed to be intended for our hotel room? Now those choices are a big deal. They're an even bigger deal when they begin to affect bigger events in our lives. So how do we avoid making oblivious decisions throughout our lives and missing out on things that we value? We get clear on what we truly value, and we use those values to make decisions throughout our lives. No more wondering if we made the right choice or if we should prioritize something over the other. We write those values down, and we do so in order of most valuable to least valuable. Like I said, we don't all value the same things, but we do all have the same value areas. So here's the 4 key value areas. Relationships. Who do you value and why? What do you believe to be true about how you should show up in these relationships? Self. What do you expect of yourself? What do you believe to be true about how you should show up and experience life? Health. How healthy do you want to be? What should you be capable of doing, and what should you not be limited by? And wealth. What do you believe is a good way to make and spend your money? What should you be responsible for providing? Now, I've listed these in order of what I believe to be most valuable to least valuable. If you were the only person left on earth, it would not matter what you created, because there would be no one around to benefit from it or value you for who you are and what you do. Some may want to put self above relationships, but the fact is, when you remove the ability to add value and be valued, you also remove all the pleasures and purpose of life. Now, self and health can actually be swapped around if you'd like to. At the end of the day, they both play a very vital role in how you show up and how you perform. What you expect of yourself is going to bleed into how well you do. And what you expect you should experience from life is going to determine how you grow, how you relax, how you reflect, and how you reward yourself in life. What you value in the self area has a lot to do with your perspective. If you wake up every day and see each day as an opportunity to grow and get better, then you will. If you wake up every day and see it as an opportunity to be let down, then you will. If you are physically or mentally incapable of showing up in life the way that you expect to, then you will be drastically let down, or you'll be forced to change your perspective about how you show up. Self and health feed off of each other, really, but you certainly can't show up and generate wealth if you're not mentally or physically capable of doing so. So that's why both of these rank above the wealth value. We may easily understand why the wealth value is at the bottom when we think about how lonely some of the wealthiest people are, or how they've regretted not spending more time on areas in their lives that are more fulfilling and have nothing to do with the wealth that they've generated. I personally believe that if you can't be happy poor, then you won't be happy rich. That's one of the main reasons why I put wealth at the bottom of the 4 key value areas. Now let's break down these value areas into the common segments that each of them have. And I'll also list these in order of what I believe to be most valuable to least valuable. The 5 main relationship types that we all have: God, family, leaders and mentors, friends and community, and professional relationships. What promises would you make to yourself, or pledges would you make to yourself about how you believe you should show up in each one of these relationships, and how you would expect others in those relationships to show up for you? Next, we have the 4 main areas that we all value about ourselves. We have growth, relaxation, reflection, and reward. Now, what promises or pledges would you make to yourself about how you'll handle your growth, relaxation, reflection, and how you'll reward yourself? There's 3 main areas that we all value about our health. That's our spiritual health, our mental health, and our physical health. Again, what promises or pledges would you make to yourself about how you should handle your spiritual health, your mental health, and your physical health? And again, lastly, we have wealth and the 2 main areas that we value within it. And that is going to be how we source it and how we use it. Now, how we source our wealth, meaning what do we believe is the most morally correct way and the most fulfilling way for us to create and obtain our wealth, and how we use our wealth, which is simply stated how we spend the money we make. So what promises or pledges would you make in those 2 areas of your wealth value? Go over these value areas, think about 3 to 4 sentences of statements that you believe to be true about how you should show up in the different areas. To help you out, I'll share a little bit of what I've put down for my personal values in the area of self. In the area of my growth, I have that I vow to learn something new every day. Every chance I get to persevere, step out of my comfort zone, and push my limits will be acted on. In the area of relaxation, I have that I vow to give my mind, body, and soul the rest that it needs to allow it to strengthen after growth. I will separate myself from work and forward progression in order to live in the moment and appreciate where I have come from, where I have been, and where I am. In the area of reflection, I have that I vow that I will measure myself not by the progress of others, but by the progress that I have made from where I was. Journaling is the clearest way for me to examine my thoughts, beliefs, and feelings from the past if done correctly. I will not hinge on my failures, circumstances, mental or physical limits from the past. I will learn, adapt, and overcome them. I will soak in the joys and successes and use this as fuel to seek more of the same. In the area of reward, I have that I vow I will reward myself for progress made, that I will hold myself to a high standard in order to earn each reward. A reward that is earned is much sweeter than a reward for just living the way that I feel that I should, and I will play harder than I work. If you'd like to see all of my value areas broken down, I will link in the description to an article that I wrote with just my values. Or if you'd prefer to watch some videos over the value areas, I'll link to that at the end of this video so you can watch through that playlist. Now, referring back to my self-values that I use as an example, let's think about how these would help me make easier and better decisions. My growth value challenges me to step outside of my comfort zone. So if I'm ever pressed with a choice to get uncomfortable or play it safe, my value areas clearly point out which decision I should make. What if I find myself too focused on growth and I'm starting to experience some burnout? I can go back to these values and I can look at relaxation and I can see that it says I need to separate myself from work and forward progression in order to live in the moment and appreciate where I've come from, where I've been, and where I am. And if I listen to that, I have no doubt that if I start implementing some time to relax, that I will keep myself from experiencing burnout going forward. All of this is the first step in what I like to call creating our peace with the process. So what are the other steps? Like we've been talking about, step 1 is identifying our values. Step 2 is identify how we spend our time. Step 3, identifying what we're spending our time on that doesn't support our values. Step 4, implementing activities that do support our values. And step 5, crafting a daily rhythm that helps you become more like what you value. If you'd like to know more about these 5 steps to creating your peace with the process, or maybe you're wondering why it's so important to create your peace with the process in the first place, you can head over to peacewiththeprocess.com. There, I have other tools, resources, and articles that dive deeper into these topics. You can also click on Create Your Peace, where I dive a little bit deeper into each of these 5 steps. If you want to talk about this process in more depth with me personally, I would love to be a tool and a resource for you. You can use the links to go check out this article that this video was written on. You can go to peacewiththeprocess.com, fill out the contact information to reach out to me, or you can reach out to us at Facebook or Instagram on Peace with the Process. I want to thank you all for checking out another video by Peace with the Process. I cannot wait to see you all next time. If you've enjoyed this video and you want more things, Peace with the Process, again, you can always go back to the website, peacewiththeprocess.com, but maybe you want a little bit more than that, something to listen to while you're on the go, check us out on podcasts. That's Peace with the Process podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. We're available. If you enjoy the show, leave us a rating and review. We very much appreciate it. Also, leave this video a like and hit subscribe to the channel for more videos about this. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.